morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco. It is April 9th, the day after the solar eclipse. We hope that those of you out there were able to see it. I unfortunately was looking so forward to it. We would have had 88% coverage, and we had nothing but clouds, so we couldn't see anything. It didn't even get dark, even with the clouds, so that was very disappointing. However, I decided that that's going to be on my bucket list because I'm not going to wait 20 years for the next one to come by here and run that risk. So I'm going to look at the next paths coming up in the next 5 years and see where they are, and I'm going to fly down to those areas with at least one of my children. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Gladiator Guru.
Good morning. It did get around the time they said here, it did get like a really dark overcast. But
Oh,
that's all I
nice.
saw. Yeah, so yeah, I chase it. I mean, there's people who travel all over the world for Tina Turner and everybody else. I think solar eclipse is just as fun. Buenos días, mi gente. Aquí con la Margarita, your gladiator guru. Let me tell you, I've been up since 7. And this morning, the time just got away from me. Like, really just, I'm doing things. And as I look, it was like a whole chunk of time went. So my goal for the day is not to waste time because it slipped by me this morning quicker than quick. I looked at the clock and I had a text badass, I'm coming, because the last time I looked at the clock it was 7:38. So yeah, that's my goal for today. So buenos dias and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche.
And good morning to Kathy. Good morning to Leanne. Good morning to Milagros. It looks like that Carmen Nieves was also on.
No, Carmencita.
Well, good morning,
Listen,
Carmen.
Carmen, you are on my list to call today. Wow. Bienvenidas. Thank you.
And don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe, so we could get our we just get more views, more likes, blah blah blah, more subscribers, because this month, we know the month of April is the living month. So we are now in our second week of April. It is the living month, and today's conversation is the art of being silly, which is why I decided to dress up as a princess today, because that's my silly. I could have wore the silly crazy stuff too. I'm not opposed to wearing stuff like that. I actually just forgot and I packed it somewhere. I don't know where it is. So I decided to do this, but I have to do networking today, and I'm actually thinking of just going to wear this. I'm just going to show up for my networking session with my tiara on and my, faux diamonds and sapphires, because it is very gloomy here today. So I'm going to bring some sparkle in.
I love it. Carmencita en buena hora. I love it. See, I love anybody who dares to be different, and in any kind of weather. So go out there, and I can't wait to hear about how people received you. Yesterday, you say that, and yesterday I was in Big Y, and as I'm leaving, somebody tells the person who's helping you buy, she comes over and she goes, and you have a sparkling day. And I thought that was so adorable. And it just so happened that Mary, the one that was bagging my groceries, is the one that says that to everybody. So the customer reminded her, I hear you when you speak. So I thought that was very beautiful.
Oh, that is nice. That's
Mm-hmm.
really nice. Yeah, that's important to know that you're being heard. Yeah, for sure. Oh, that was really nice. Well, so again, for those of you that are on, we hope that you were able to see some sort of little solar thing. At least I'm hoping that. Some people were like, it's not that big of a deal. It was a big deal for me. They don't come around very much. I did watch the live footage when they were showing it in different locations, and it was incredible to watch. There were some areas that were absolutely clear, some areas of Arkansas, some areas of Indiana. And I stopped paying attention, so I don't know how the Northeast got. If I know upstate New York was supposed to be in the line, upper Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and I didn't know if how clear their skies were. But every single time one has come into my vicinity, it has always been cloudy. So I am bound and determined. I think, we take for granted these moments that come along that nature provides. I mean, it's an incredible thing that nature offers to us. It's our own little movie, and that's kind of how I look at it. It's and again, I'm not telling people to feel that way necessarily, but I know I do, and I'm excited about it. And I know my youngest daughter, especially, I think my middle daughter too. They were a little disappointed that we didn't get to see it at all. Especially we planned for it. We had our glasses and everything. So, good morning, Melissa. How are you?
Hello, Melissa. Long time no see. Bienvenida. Driving, just listening. Love you guys. Love you too, Carmen. Happy that you're here. The art of being silly is as the badass Buddha say, we take so much for granted. We take, just everything. We look outside and we're always so in a rush to get somewhere. We don't even notice when we're laughing, or when we get that little giggle that pops out of a memory as we're driving, or a song, or maybe a corny joke that the guy said on Weeby 108. I don't know. I'm just saying that's all the only station I can get so far. But the art of being silly is dancing. Let me tell you, I dropped my granddaughter off, and I got her hooked on BTS, and there's two songs they sing that she loves: is Dynamite and Butter. She already learned the words that are non-Korean, but she's learned them. And so when I'm driving her to school, she has my phone. That's what she's listening to. She's watching the videos. She loves the dance move. So when we get out the car every morning and we're heading into the school, you got to park a ways away. We actually dance. She has my phone on full blast, and we dance from the car all the way into the school. And then she's doing like this to people. Look, it's BTS. And I'm like, Savannah, what was that? And she's just so into it down the hallway until right before we get into her classroom. I get the phone from her, but I'm not going to take it from her prior to that until they say something. But we literally dance, and people look at us when we're coming out the car, and I love it. I love it for her because all I do is hear her giggle, and she's loving it.
Yep.
When we're in the car, it's like a concert. So I think every moment that you can be silly, that's you just nurturing that inner child that just
Yes.
wants to be able to be silly. So I'm like, hello, Desiree. I'm thinking like, go for it. The badass Buddha going to a networking thing dressed like that. That's awesome. It's so funny because I'm telling you, the time got away from me today. Savannah has a closet filled, hanging up on special hangers, all her princess dresses with the crowns and the wands and the gloves. And I didn't even think about that. So kudos to you, badass. I just put my regular diamonds on. I think it's beautiful because it came
So
from you. It's
today,
like, okay, this is what I want to do. And you put it on. And that's what we need to stop standing in our own ways when we want that little joy, that little sparkle of like, ha, I'm going to do this.
or letting other people stand in our way, like I am goofy, and I will start just randomly dancing sometimes or be silly, and my kids get embarrassed, which makes me want to do it more. But I'm trying to say to get them to understand that please don't be afraid to be who you are. Like if nobody should ever, like, everybody can have their own opinion, but it doesn't mean that you have to listen to what they're saying and consider like, oh, I don't want to make a fool of myself. Who cares? There'll be people looking at you like you're a fool, and there'll be other people thinking they were wishing that they were that bold that they could do that. So this is the living month. The month of April is about living. So why would we be talking about stuff that's silly? The art of being silly. And then on Thursday, we're going to be talking about basically embracing your inner child, never forgetting that child. Why is that part of the living month? Because there they're about being in the present moment. Being silly and being childlike are about being in the present moments, and staying in touch with the parts of you that are very creative and very not caring what other people think and are just going to be who you are. And we lose it as we get older. We decide that, oh, well, that's not really proper behavior. What are people going to think of me? And, that's why a lot of parents will just sit and talk while their kids play on the swings, at the park. Some of it is because the parents just want to BS and get and hang out with each other. But how many times have you taken your children or grandchildren to a park and there wasn't really anybody that you knew and you still sat down and just didn't participate? And, I remember when years ago, this was very interesting. When I was dating my ex-husband, he used to tell me that he always did like flips, and he used to do a lot of gymnastic stuff. He never took it formally, but somebody used to do it in the neighborhood, and they would do it off of like mattresses and stuff like that were outside. And I've never seen him do it. So I was like, I don't know if I believe you. And I remember we were with our oldest daughter and my two nephews, and we were at the park, and they were younger. And then all of a sudden he just ran and did this backflip. And all of us were like, oh my God, because, he wasn't a thin guy. And we were just like, oh my God. And it was a very cool moment, because it's those little things that sort of burn in your memory. And especially with kids, like our oldest daughter will talk about it here and there. Like, oh my God, remember the time that, he flipped in the park. But that's what children remember. They remember that because they don't remember what you bought them. They remember those moments.
Mm-hmm.
And we forget that. We worry about what other people think, or I'm not going to wear that because what's somebody going to say? And that's why I love Gladiator Guru, because she's always putting on her little diamonds, and she walks outside and she goes shopping at Walmart and whatever. She doesn't care. And there's going to be somebody. Yeah, so what? What do we focus on? The people that are the haters? There's going to be somebody that's going to go, oh my God, how cool is that? How cool is it that she's walking around like that? That is just the coolest thing.
But even when they don't, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that even you're right. It's about you. It's about what you want. Doesn't matter what anybody says.
And that's why I was saying, like, don't get in your way. And when you said, or other people get in the way, the only way other people can get in your way is if you allow them. That's by you getting in your way. Remember, my methodology of everything begins with you. When you choose not to stand up for yourself, not to celebrate yourself, you can't blame the other person for not acknowledging your growth or your accomplishments. It all begins and ends with you, and then who you invite, and then who you realize you have to escort out. So I think that to be silly with yourself is to acknowledge that we're still the students of a life where we're a teacher. When you can come back to being that student, you can have the fun. You can do the backflips in a park full of strangers, and your kid is probably going to get embarrassed. And I had my two kids, my son, who's here, he always, don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me. And then my daughter's like, Ma, that lady yelled at me. Go tell her something. Or she would like drive down with her head out the window, screaming. That's before they pulled you over because your kid wasn't in 50 seatbelts. And then the other one sitting in the back seat. So you have them all, but you still got to be who you are. Because once we start breaking ourselves up, where is the joy of life? How could you be silly?
That's right.
When you're too busy wondering, oh, who's going to say this and who's going to say that? And the beauty of being silly is that you are feeding your spirit so much that at the end of the day, you feel so good. You're going to sleep like a baby. You're going to feel good about yourself. Your whole body is going to be relaxed. I mean, although you may think it's just silly for the moment, it has such a trickle effect on the body and the mind and just your sensory things, and you see things
Yeah, every
better, you feel
cell in your
things,
body.
you
Yeah.
know. And when you can hear things clearer and you can see things, it makes all the difference in the world. And we forget that it's attributed to being silly and nurturing that inner child and just saying, let's have fun. So anybody, oh, hi prima di babble and Toji-san. So anybody here see how the badass Buddha dressed up today, and I'm sure it'll be a hit, and it's something that you got to pop up like slut magic in other people's lives as well. And when you can do that genuinely because you're just feeling happy that day, it's like it's like a waterfall. You're pouring that into everybody you meet, not because, oh, let me put this on so I can be funny. No, because you said, I'm gonna put this on because I feel funny. See the difference? Are you saying, let me put this on so I can be funny, or I'm gonna put this on because I feel funny? They're different. One is you're playing a role. You're not feeling the feelings. You're pretending. You're just playing. You're a character in that role, and the other is you bringing forth those smiles, that joy, that whoo. Let's just be a kid. And that's what we need more of in our lives. We've been adults. We're adults every day. You know what? Sometimes it's good to, even if it's 1 hour every day, it's good for the soul.
So pull that stick out and let that bug up there die. That's the bottom line. Because just think of it this way, for every moment that you worry about what other people think, and every moment that you hesitate, you say, "Oh, I really wanted to wear those pants because they're a little crazy, but I don't know, I'm just a little, I don't want to put that. I don't even know why I bought them." For every moment that you hesitate to let your true self come out and be, or step out of the box a little bit and be a little bit silly, you have to get out of your own way for every moment, because allow yourself to be that person. Because here's the thing, if you don't allow yourself to be silly, if you don't allow yourself to be free, you will impose that upon other people,
Mm-hmm.
because you will judge them as you will think other people are judging you. So if you say, well, I'm not really that outgoing, I don't want, that's a little crazy, I don't want to wear that, and then somebody walks by wearing that same thing, oh, how could they wear that? Don't they look ridiculous? And then that sets a tone for everybody in your circle. How many times have we said, and I'm going to say I'm guilty of this in the past, where you've told a child, oh, don't wear that, that looks stupid, or that's silly, a little kid, no, you can't wear that to school, or you can't wear that to the store, that's just not, that's okay, you're getting too big for that now. Hi, good morning, Wanda. And I did that with my second child. I was always very like meticulous about what she was wearing. When my youngest was she wanted to be independent right away, so Charlotte was, you know what, I'm going to dress myself. And I was like, okay, that's fine, because before I was so controlling with the middle one, and I would get her dressed, literally get her dressed until she was like 9. But at 4, Charlotte was like, I don't want to wear that. So she would start to argue with me, I want to wear this. And so I said, okay, fine, then you have to get yourself dressed. And she would wear the most ridiculous things. And I thought to myself, this is the time for them to experiment with this. This is the
Mm-hmm.
time for them to be, because they can go to school ridiculous. They can go with nothing matching. They can go being very silly. They could go to the store that way because people give them, quote, permission to do that. But it's not about people giving them permission. It's about me as their mom, or, her mom saying, you know what, you be you, and you own it proudly. And I want you to be that person proudly, and then walk in your truth. And then you decide as you go what you want to continue to wear, and or whatever, it doesn't matter how you want to be, or how the person that you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time I catch myself making a judgment based on my perception, my ideas of who they are, I have to catch myself. I have to become very present and say, that's not fair. It's not necessarily, but it's not fair, because that I'm not them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even like, she'll go to school with holes in her pants, she'll go to school with dirt on her shirts. Now I cringe a little bit, because I'm like, I just don't want people to think that you're living in squalor, like that your parent doesn't care and doesn't wash. And she's like, nah, nobody feels that way. And I'm like, all right, then I'm gonna, like her
Yeah.
mom can't stand that, but I've let that go,
Yes, I guess to some degree. I don't mind. I didn't mind Tiffany dressing herself. She loved, and even Anaya, they loved wearing the frilly dresses out. And, um, but I think the majority of everything. Hi, Stephanie, my niece is on. And D, my cousin D says, OMG, this is so true. I had cute tie dye pants on yesterday and got so many compliments. I wear what I want. Absolutely. I think D, you've always been like that. You're the Sagittarius of my heart. Um, I think when you really, really take all your masks off and unlearn or just pick and throw away everything that you were told how you should do, how you should think, how you should dress, just to fit in, you will experience the silliness of life. Life it is what we make it. But a lot of us choose the hard path because we stick to what society deems appropriate. And I'm very inappropriate. And if you know me, you know me. So I think that when you decide to embrace you totally, not half-assing it, people. We half-ass our growth, our healing. Oh yeah, I'm healing. I don't want to be like this. I used to be like that. I need to be like this. Just be. There's a scripture that says, um, "Be still and know that I am God." And then if you say it again, "Be still and know," and then "Be still," and then the last one, God is saying, "Just be, just be." So if you can be still and know that He is God, and then He's telling you, be still and know, and then be still and just be, you have like a whole football size field of cheerleaders saying, just be. You were born to just be, not to fit in anybody's box, not to be molded into anybody's idea. And we've allowed that to happen. So the fun in us has been slowly dying, but not dead. So you have the chance to revive that part of you and just be that silliness, you can be. And so what? The more people watching, the bigger your audience, the more teachings you are sharing on how to just be.
That's right.
So look at it that way.
That's right. And if you think too that, oh, I don't know, I'm a little, I'm
Then
not,
go.
again, pull the stick out. But if you think that it's a little too much, you're a little nervous about being silly or being a little crazy, then take a child with you. Go out to the store, take a small child with you. If you have a grandchild, or, you have a friend that has a child that's like 3 to 5 years old, get them dressed up silly, and then you dress up silly and both go shopping, because that people be looking at it, go, oh my God, that's so funny. Like, they won't. And again, it's not about what other people think. However, we do have to honor the fact that in the beginning, when you are not used to being that way, you hesitate. What we're trying to say here is, just don't hesitate. Just do it. Like I said, when I put this on for the show, I have to go networking today, and I'm going to actually leave this on. I'm just going to keep this outfit on, and I'm going to show up for my networking event. And they all know me enough by now to just laugh and smile, and they're going to love it. And I know I'm going to get all these compliments or comments, and I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for that. What I'm going to state today is, it's very cloudy and overcast today, so I'm bringing the sparkle. I'm bringing the glow for today's meeting, and that's it. I'm not doing it to sensationalize myself. I'm not doing it to show off. I'm doing it because I think it would just be a lot of fun, and I think it would brighten other people's day to see this. So I might, if I can find a wand, I might even bring a wand. I don't know. I got to see if Charlotte has one in
You
her closet.
you have to look for it. But let me tell you something. You said something badass that sometimes with this, but you know what? This is where we are today. So you got to let go of what the past. If you want to enter this new realm of healing that you have been working on, if you want to enter this new season of the life that you challenge yourself to change, and you had to cry, you had to peel off that wound, you had to watch it heal correctly this time, and you lost people and you gained people. If you are entering the second half of your life, then forget everything you learned. Forget the knickknacks of the past. Forget the box you used to enclose yourself in so that people can like you and see you different. If you truly want to be who the fuck you were meant to be, let it go. Don't keep going back saying, well, because I was like that. No, where are you today? What do you want to do today? How are you going to get there? And are you ready? Are you ready to say, I'm going to start today and I might fuck up 2 days down the road, but then I'm going to put my big girl panties on again and I'm going to say, oh, here we go again. Because as long as you have life in you, you have the opportunity to make changes that are going to benefit you until your last breath, not the people around you.
That's right.
And
So
if you can
share
be
it.
happy for you, it'll trickle down into your kids. If you can be happy for you, it'll trickle down to your grandkids because they're watching. So it's not to put the weight of the world on your shoulders because, like, my kid, oh, mom, don't say that in front of her. If she don't hear it from me, she can hear it from somebody else. So why not hear it in a safe place? And because I'm not going to alter who I am to accommodate anyone else. My grandkids are really great with me. We can have deep conversations. We can have funny conversations. We can just sit and listen to music. Oh, listen, grandma, listen to this one. And I say, well, listen to this one. And that's how sometimes we spend our time is sharing music. And I don't like all their music. And they look at me like, okay, whatever. But since they were babies and my children included, and then my children trickled it down to theirs, they love freestyle. Judy Torres, Cynthia, TKA. So that is a standard across the board. Three generations down, not sit and enjoy freestyle. My son says, I hate it, but I love it. He says, I can do 3 loads of laundry before they start singing the first lyric. And it is, the intros are always so long. But,
That's
for,
because you dance and not stop.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for me to have
If
heard
you
that from
remain
him
unlovable.
is beautiful because it cracks me up that they paid attention and that he can actually form a joke out of that, which is
Yes.
true. It does take
Yes.
forever for them to start singing. But I think that when you are true to who you are, you don't care who's going to say, what do you mean? Freestyle's the shit. Don't be talking about freestyle, do it, taking forever. Everybody has an opinion.
Yes.
Everybody has a view. And one thing, 5 of us can have a view on this one thing. And it's okay. Say your view. And if they don't like it, fuck off. This is my opinion. This is my experience. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. Stop trying to mesh into something you're not, because that is the joy kill.
Yep.
And who brought it upon them? They didn't force you to not be who you are. You chose not to because you didn't want people to look at you funny or to think you're weird or not like you. So reevaluate why you were where you were, and then start dancing, start singing. Do something that you have put off because what in Spanish we say el que dirán. Y el que dirán, even now we'll say, oh, so and so didn't do this, and we'll say why, el que dirán. And that means, well, oh, what are people gonna say? So yeah. So I'm thinking, look at Wanda, look what your friend Wanda wrote.
I know.
That is awesome. Hi, Christy. But yeah, so I'm thinking that silliness, that thing where Savannah loves to put diamonds on like me when we go. She goes, Grandma, and Mateo used to love it. And we put it on and we do go out. We take pictures or whatever. You doing that. You know what? It doesn't take a strong, courageous person. It just takes you accepting you, loving you, saying, you know what? Let's be funny today. Grandma.
Yep.
Hi, good morning.
Speaking of,
huh?
Speaking of her.
Yeah. Say good morning.
Good morning.
I got a toothbrush.
Oh, nice.
You brush your teeth now?
Very nice.
I'm coming.
So with all of that, I think it's amazing that we can still show up. I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up today, because you know what? When we sit and create these shows, we do it, and we want to do it with so much gumption that where it's like, okay, what we want to tickle them, because that's our thank you. Because every time we create something, it's because either we've been there, done that, or need to rehear it, or need to reevaluate where we've been in the last 6 months. And then we think about, who are we sharing this with? Who is going to absorb it? Who is going to then share it forward to help somebody out? So it's a big responsibility of fun. I think it's a big ball of fun. What do you say, Badass? Because there is a lot of responsibility. What we're going to talk about, how is it going to be received to where it's going to be beneficial to you? Someone said something about me and how I said something on the show. And I said, you know what? In life, it's a win-win. Whether you're liked or not, it's a win-win. Because if they're choosing not to like you when you are truly being you and being fun and just enjoying life, then it's a win-win that they're no longer in your life, right? Look at your life like a storybook and tell the story with laughter. And tell the story with fun and be theatrical. My father used to tell us stories, and he would be, sí, and I, ¡pam! Y lo agarré así, y lo puse así. And he would tell us that stories like that 20 times. And we would sit there in such awe because the sound effects, you know, and how he would stand like he was reliving his young Lord days. And he would just say, and bam, and he would pick him up And I'm thinking, that's how we need to engage when we're telling a story. We're going to tell a story, well, you know, once upon a time, right? Like when I was 5. And no, say it with vigor. Say it with meaning. Right?
Yes.
Who agrees?
Yeah. Well, and you know, share with us. Tell us what your plan is to be silly. I mean, we're not getting a lot of engagement this morning. We're hoping that you do say, you know, like, what could you do today that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, maybe, or maybe not out of your comfort zone. It's just something you do, but you don't tend to do outside in the public. You know, if you're going to work today, what could you do different? Maybe bring your magic wand and just start spreading fairy dust to everybody. You know, things like that. People get a kick out of that stuff. And the thing is that, do you know that two emotions cannot live together in the same, two opposing emotions cannot live together in the same head at a moment in time. So if you're laughing and happy, if you're happy with laughter, you can't be angry at that moment in time. And so if you've been feeling like your life has been very chaotic, very serious, very, you know, you're very frustrated, you're not happy, then take that moment. Perfect timing.
She's poking up. Yeah,
you see what I mean? Like, see what, like, she doesn't care. She's just like, I'm gonna make my presence known. She doesn't care. And that's like, we laugh, but then if an adult does it, we like get all mad, or we like, we don't want to intrude, you know. But look at her. Hi, Mama.
You know, she went and got her little footstool, and I see her coming and moving things out of the way. So I step back not to interrupt her flow. And this is what she's doing. And she's kind of upset. She's actually on her tippy toes on her footstool. And you're right. Good morning, Anita. This is exactly what we need to be doing. Excuse me. Oh, hold on. I'm over here. Excuse me. and pop up like slap magic
Yes.
into your own life.
That's
Because
right.
when you can do that into your own life, okay, she just wants to tell you she's fully dressed.
Nice.
Okay, so you gotta wait for Wela, and when I'm done, we'll go to school, okay? So, and when you do that, it's like even professors with the monotones, right? But then you got professors that are theatrical.
That's me.
They-
That's
and,
me when I teach.
and they want to like and be barefoot and everything. You learn more from that because that energy is so
Yep.
vibrant.
That's exactly how I teach.
So if you're holding back and being truly this free-spirited, happy person, because who I might offend or who might not like it, who might think I'm stupid. Think about the vibrational energy you felt when you were around somebody who just didn't give a shit about society. And you felt good. Because you are probably that person that's going to send out those energy waves to people who truly are in need of it. All while being you. So I'm thinking, you know what? Be the best you can possibly be. But I'm going to use a word I don't like to use, but be so authentic that you don't even realize that you have a crown on and walking around with the wand. Because it's just part of you. It's just part of your spirit on today's agenda. Because tomorrow you might feel like totally different. You might want to be something totally different. You want diamonds all over your face. You want to put henna. It doesn't matter. You can just be your basic, dressed in black, and still walk in a room and be the energy of life.
That's right. It's
because it really is who you're feeding. What are you feeding your spirit so that you can indeed be happy and be like excited that you woke up this morning, because that's the bottom line.
So we're going to give you a challenge today. We want you to do something today that's silly. If you're down the street from a park, go by yourself, go on one of the climby things or the swingy things. We want you to take a short video of yourself doing it or doing anything silly, and then, or picture. You could do a picture if you want. And then we want you to post it in your social media and tag us in it so that we know, so that we get the alert that you did this. And we want you to tell everybody that today I chose to be silly and here's what I did. So we want you all to do that today because it's like forcing you to do it, but it's also making you think it as well. So if you're driving by to work and you're like, I always drive by this one park with like this one kid park. Well, there's parents there with their kids. It's going to look really strange if I'm there by myself. Who cares? You go in, you take a picture of yourself on one of the things, and you just leave. And you know what? It'll just give somebody a conversation. You should see what this lady did. She parked, came in, went on some of the things, slid down the slide, took a video of herself and left. It gives them something to talk about. Maybe it'll give them a laugh. Maybe it'll give them a chuckle. But do it, or dress up all cool and go out to the food store. I have to pick up a few items. Let me just dress really crazy. Then take a picture of yourself at the food store dressed like that. Because, it's just about living life and feeling and knowing that you're alive and getting your heartbeat to go up a little faster and thinking, okay, maybe you're a little uncomfortable. Maybe you're a lot of uncomfortable, but just do it. Just get out there. Maybe to grab somebody that works there and take a picture with you, if you see somebody laughing that's enjoying the moment with you, see if they'll take a picture with you and you do a selfie with them and post it. It's about bringing out joy. Silliness brings out joy. That's why when children are silly, what do they do while they're being silly? They're giggling. They're giggling nonstop, even if it's the stupidest thing. And we're looking at that adult going, why do they even think that's funny? Who cares? They do. So why are we judging that what they're doing is not, it's stupid? We just look at that and laugh because they don't care. They're in the moment. They're not caught up in all the crapola that we put constantly in front of ourselves to prevent ourselves from being silly and crazy and whatever. You know, when Gladiator was talking about teachers being monotone and teachers being really active, you know, that's how I teach. I would teach, even lecture when I would be doing speeches. If I could be barefoot, I would be. And I'm all over the place. I'm walking here, I'm walking there, I walk in the middle. I'm crazy. I run, I jump, I'll say something. I get very passionate about what I'm talking about. And I gained that insight and that experience and that permission to be that person because of one of the best teachers I've ever had in my life in high school. And she was my high school senior English teacher who was that way. She would get so caught up in the moment of what she was lecturing on. And she would be reading from the books that I sometimes couldn't even understand because it was that old language. But she would animate and she would demonstrate. And I didn't sometimes even hear what she was saying. I was just so caught up in watching her performance that it got me excited. And that's how I wanted to be as a teacher. And I've had the ones that just sit there and lecture and they talk and they're very monotone and they can tell they don't even care. They don't even want to be there. I didn't want to put that energy out there because I felt it from that teacher and a few other along the way, especially in college, that were that excited and passionate to be there. Silliness is in alignment with passion. Because when you see a child just being who they are and in the moment being silly, we don't ever really use that term for children, if you think about that, right, Gladiator Guru? We don't ever say they're being passionate. We only say that about adults, but that's really what it is children are being so passionate in their moment and just embracing this now and doing what they're doing. And we have to learn from that. And that's why today is the art of being silly. Thursday is being a child. It's specifically called, sorry, I didn't have it in front of me. The eyes of a child. We're going to be talking about looking through the eyes of a child, but also remembering your child and looking through those child's eyes, remembering yourself so that you could live a very passionate and exciting life.
And while you're living or trying to live a very excited and passionate life, make sure you're living in your truth and you're walking in your truth. People pretend to be something they're not so much that they actually convince themselves that's who they are.
Yes.
So when they are performing, it is very unnatural.
Yes.
And although in their head they're believing that they're doing an Oscar winning or whatever it is that you win at a theater on Broadway, a Tony, that they don't realize that everybody is seeing it's a facade. So I'm always 100% saying, when you're going to walk your walk, make sure that it aligns with your talk. Make sure that when you're saying, I'm going to do this, that you're actually doing it. And remember, your timing is your timing. If you tell me I'm going to do something and I have an expectation, well, she told me last month she was doing this, I guess it didn't work out. That's not your business.
That's right.
See, the number one killjoy is you worrying about other people. It's not your business.
It's a colossal waste of time.
People always say, oh, what happened? I thought you were going to do this. I am, just on my time, not yours. And then they get up. Or I'm like, I'm going to do it on my time. And I've said that straight out to people. Yeah, my time. You know, you are only repeating what I said. So you want to sound, whatever you want to sound, you're still repeating what I said that I'm going to accomplish. So when people walk around and they want to be silly, but they're still afraid of the society stuff, it doesn't come natural. So remember that.
Yes.
Yes, exactly, Anita. You have to go out there and you give the best performance of your life with whatever stage you are in this learning part of being totally authentically you.
Yep.
Because that's what it takes. So I want everybody to find that happiness. You know, and one of my blogs, it's called Musica. And on there talks about being free. Like when I'm driving by myself, I'm having a sold out concert at Madison Square Garden. And I don't care who's watching. And in that blog, I wrote it specifically because that day, I don't know where I was, but there was people like cars side by side, and some would look and they would laugh, and someone like would do that, and other people were staring like, "What the hell is good? Is she having a seizure or something?" But it didn't bother me. I blew them a kiss, so I know I made some people's day because I had them laugh.
Yes.
They were genuinely laughing, like
Give them something to
like
talk about.
they were probably saying, "Look at this crazy broad."
Yes.
But
Yep.
it still made them laugh or smile. So
That's
guess
right.
what? I set the tone for their day by just being me, not even realizing these people were going to stop or actually watch me. And sometimes when it's you doing exactly what you feel, that happiness, you're sharing it with those around you without even being aware. So if you are going to be you, be you. You're gonna have those down days. You're gonna have those leave me the hell alone days. It's okay. That's natural. That's normal. But never give up that silliness. Never give up that inner child. Always seek whatever it is that's gonna make you smile first. Because if it makes you smile, it's a definite that there's gonna be people who need that. Because why not? It's so
Right.
much cheaper to smile. I could be in a bad mood now, like the new Margie, the 2.0 Margie that doesn't have that much of the rage. When I feel that anger, I smile. And you know what I've noticed? That when you smile, it does. It's like taking 3 deep breaths. I smile. Like I ain't even gonna catch a case today. Not today, boo boo. And I could be saying whatever it is I'm saying, but that smile is helping. Why? Because it still is a sign of excitement, of being silly, of being like, why are you smiling in this type of mood? Because I feel like it. And that's you taking ownership of that inner
Yeah.
joy, of that inner peace, of that
Yes.
inner excitement that you and only you own. And the thing is that no matter how many times you give it away by sharing it, it never depletes from you. And that's the beauty of just being authentically you. That's the beauty of saying, you know what, I'm gonna wear my crown and my sapphires, and I'm gonna look for that one, and I'm gonna go out today. And that is what we should set out to do every morning. And not worry about, oh, let me hurry up and leave. Stop, I can't, I gotta go. Traffic, you know what? You're always on time. People I say that because I'm always late. No, I'm not always late. I'm always on my time. You had an expectation. I've been late to all my weddings. My mother said I'll be late to my funeral because they're gonna lose me somewhere. You know, for what? Who am I late for? The people who got there before me. So am I really late, or are you just early? So, and I make a joke of it because why not? Let's laugh. So find that inner peace. By finding that inner peace, you're gonna accept all of you, even with all those chapters still that need tweaking. You're going to accept who you are right now at this moment, like my cousin did yesterday, wearing your tie-dye pants and not giving a shit. Because if you're happy, then everyone around you is happy. If you're happy, there is nothing you cannot do. Trust me. Because when you're happy, you make better decisions. So you don't want to do everything you thought you wanted to do. You see? You get it now? There's nothing you cannot do because there's a lot of things you should not do. And you only figure that out when you're happy.
Yeah, because you're connected to yourself. When you're happy, you're really 100% okay with who you are. And it's when you're in alignment with who you are, that's when the best decisions are made because you know yourself so well. It's like you know what you like, what you don't like. You're not pushed into a direction.
Mm-hmm.
Easily stand up for yourself and say, you know what, that's not going to work for me because I don't like that. You do you. It's fine. It's like, and you let people, you give them permission to do, not that they need it, but you just give them permission. That's great. You want to do it, but that's not for me. And anybody that tries to push you otherwise, you'll be able to stay and you won't be mad about it. You'll be like, look, I get it. But if you keep pushing me and asking me, then I am going to get mad. But I'm good. Like I really don't need that. And a lot of times the people who push the most after a while will get frustrated because they're not going to keep asking you or keep trying to push you because they realize they can't control you. And I think that's the biggest shift that happens when you step into who you are and love yourself. And you don't have, whatever your vulnerabilities are, they're not weaknesses anymore for you. You're just aware of them and you're working on them, and you can decide what I'm going to do with them, as opposed to hiding them from other people. Be silly, be crazy, be, so what? Put a little extra eye makeup on, put the diamonds on you, wear something that you haven't worn, that's hanging in your closet that you've been like, I'm a little uncomfortable wearing that. I don't even know why I bought it. You bought it, right? Have you ever done that where you've gone to the store, you saw an outfit, like maybe on the mannequin or whatever, and you're like drawn to it. You're like, oh my God, I really like that. I really like that outfit. You buy it, and then it sits in your closet because now all of a sudden you said to yourself, I don't even know where I'd wear that for. It just, I don't think it's going to look that good on me. I don't know what I was thinking that I bought it. Your body, your spirit was speaking to you. It liked it. It wanted you to have that. It wanted you to wear that. Now your head is getting in the way.
You got scared.
Right. And the funny part is that when you do that and you put on the outfit that you're afraid to wear, you know what happens? Most people will compliment you that day. Wow, that's really cool what you wear. I've never seen you wear anything like that before. Good for you. You know what? That looks so good on you. And all of a sudden you're going to be like, what's going on? Because they are seeing your spirit, and they're seeing that what you're wearing is in alignment with your spirit.
Yeah.
And that your vibrational energy shifts to a much higher vibrational energy, and it becomes so noticeable. So, and it doesn't have to be, you know what, put some crazy glasses on. Who the hell cares? Put a hat on. How many people out there love hats, but they never really wear the hats because they just think it looks stupid on them? You know,
just wear the hats.
Just wear it.
If you've ever doubted yourself wearing hats, go and watch many of our shows. I wear many, many, many hats on this show, all styles too.
Especially
my
wraps.
favorites are the fedoras. But and wraps. Be who you are and don't give a shit about anybody's comments. Anita, I'm with you. I also have fans who pretend to not be fans, to just be family and friends, and it's like you can see it. Like, people don't realize that when you're at an elevated state of mind where you are who you are, you don't care who likes you, who doesn't like you. It's not your business what they say about you, but you have boundaries. You can read them like a see-through piece of paper with running ink. The falseness about them, the insecurities about them that making them jealous of you. And you know what? We have to learn how to pasar página, how to just pass the page and bid adieu. But all of that comes with knowing who you are. And why not start with being silly? Because being silly is when you really get to know that inner child that's still within, that you keep hushing because of society rules and norms, las normas. So be silly. Wear the hat. Wear the tie-dye pants. I bought for Easter, which we still have to do. We should do tonight, Natalie. I bought Savannah a tie-dye set because my cousin Iris came over with the tie-dye shirt, and Savannah said, your shirt is awesome. I love it. Turn around. And here's a 3.5-year-old wanting to see someone's tie-dye shirt. So I got her one. So we're all going to make some and we're going to wear them. Why? Because she loves them. And what better way to teach your child than to always bring forth that inner joy, that inner thing that I'm doing this because it makes me happy. And just do that. And, I was angry last week for 2 different reasons, and I was letting it get to me until finally I said, that devil's a liar. I have a lot going on right now, and they was trying to throw a monkey wrench, and that's all I was focusing on. So when we move forward, make sure you do it with joy and silliness, because it is in those most real moments of you just being silly that you can see and hear everything. That you can see and hear everything, and you have better direction. If you've been at that fork in the road standing, like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? And then you just let that silliness come out and you're having fun. When you come back to it, you're going to have so much clarity in your life. So we need to fall back in order to move forward. So fall back into that inner child so that you can move forward with grace as the adult that you have become. Because they're all intertwined. It's not being a kid, being an adult, being a mother, being this. No, they're all like this. You just gotta let them come out and play with each other more often.
That's right. So don't forget
And
our challenge. We want you to do something silly. We want you to go out today and do something silly, wear something silly, be silly, take a photo, take a video, post it on your social media. Say, today, I just wanted to be silly. And then tag us in that so that we see that comes up on social media so that we know you did it.
yes,
Like I said,
please.
I'm going to network in this outfit today, and I'm excited about it. Although I'm getting a little bit of a headache from the squeezing, so I have to adjust this. But I'm excited about wearing all my diamonds today and the shirt. So
Mhm.
today's conversation, the art of being silly. We want you to be silly. Go out and just let that element of you come out. And on Thursday, we're going to be talking about the eyes of a child, looking, basically seeing through the eyes of a child, whether it's the children in your life or your inner child, letting that inner child come out, because that is the purest of pure. As far as the things, we forget, we get so caught up in our adult head that we forget what's really important. And sometimes it takes that child to help you recognize or remind you of your inner child, which is exactly
To
what
light
happened
that,
in this.
yeah.
That's what
That
happened.
you reconnecting with your inner child is lighting the firecracker up your ass to get up and get shit done and stop being so anal. Oh no, because I'm
Yeah.
grown now. You cannot move forward until you bring that child with you. It hasn't grown with you. It for whatever happened, whatever travesty happened in your life, that inner child stood there. So we need to bring it with us. We need to become one with it again in order to move forward. And you know what? The art of being silly. My granddaughter loves it, but people have looked at it weird, and I wear it. But I have this ring, and it is a coffee cup.
I love it.
And if you look over here, it has right here. Let me see
How
if you
did
can
you get?
see it.
Where did you
It
get
has
it?
it has the spoon, you
Yep.
see,
Yep.
and then here is the coffee. And look at the beautiful design on the dish.
Where
But
did
it
you
is.
find
It's a
that?
big. You know what? I found it on Amazon.
That's
So
hilarious.
and I wear it. And it is an attention grabber, but I wear it because we all know how I'm a passionate lover of cafe con leche. So why not? Because it's me. It explains me. It lets you know, oh, that's Margie. There she goes with her little coffee ring. And that's because I've set that mode throughout my life. I am who I am. You either like it or you don't, because I don't care. And so when people see me now, they're like, well, Margie. Yeah, oh, the coffee ring. I could only imagine what else she has. But that's a beautiful thing when people say that, because they don't know what to expect from you, but they know that when you do pop up, it's going to be gloriously me. And that's me setting the tone for my life. So, que
And there
se
you are.
dice? See you on Thursday. I got grandma duty.
All right. From the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the gladiator guru, remember, mi gente, to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye, everyone. See you Thursday.